Okay, this is my Ray reads off the dungeon journal for Paragons the Klaxxi because you're too fucking lazy to read it yourself. Alright, this week on the PTR we had, I'm gonna read them off in order of how we had them on the PTR. We had the Prime, Lucid, and Locust as our first three. You have to fight all 9 each week, just the order changes. Um, so the Prime does, whenever one of his allies reaches 50% health while he's active, he encases them in amber, and dips have to kill the amber within 10 seconds, otherwise it heals them to full. This ability has a 30-second cooldown. Um, he has a tank mechanic, which is just a tank swap, from my understanding. I'm not a tank, but I'm pretty sure it just is. I'm not going to talk about what abilities your raid gains after they die, after any of them die, because they were all bugged on the PTR, so I'm not going to bother. The Lucid, he comes out and he assigns every player three, I guess, statistics or qualities or whatever. He gives you a number 1 through 5. He gives you a color, like, he has 5 options for colors, and he gives you one of them. And he gives you one shape out of a pool of 5. Um, and this interacts with an ability he does later called Insane Calculation. And if he picks me, and I am one blue square, whatever, anyone else who is one blue or square, oh, got guild invite. Anyone who is one blue or square will have a fire line connected between myself and them. This is just a spread mechanic. Anyone in the fire line takes a lot of damage. If you have a fire line on you, then you take like a minor dot. It's healable easily. And then he just throws out random raid damage. Just does like, he makes it so everyone has to be above 25% health, and he does like a third of their health. Whenever he picks a random person and does a third of their health. The Locust, he will charge a random player and stun anyone around them. And it's like a 4-second stun. You can move out of it, or at least I could on the PTR. But you have to be really, really, really quick about it. After he dashes, he'll jump up to a platform and throw down some amber. And these make just giant void zones on the ground. The next was the Wind Reaver. Now, the Wind Reaver and the Poison Mind have a tank mechanic that makes it so you cannot tank both of them at the same time. That's all it is. It's not a tank swap. It's just you have to tank this fight. And then of course he does have he just has like a thrash ability, just hurts. And then he jumps up in the air and he lands at a random player's location, inflicting damage to all enemies within X number of yards. And that's all he does. And the next one after him was the Manipulator. This is the dude who controls the Kuchongs, which is like a Kavik, whatever. If you did the Treadways questline, fuck you guys. So he'll pick a random player. I think it's only ranged. Or it's what it seemed to be. And kind of like Nefarian, you'll walk towards one of the Kuchongs, Kunchong, you'll walk towards one of the bugs, and if you get there, you die. And I think it's you have to do 30% of its health to make it stop. And I think when it reaches a certain percent of its health, it'll like break out of its shell and be a tankable mob. Until then, it just sits there and floats. And then the boss also does just like a random projectile sonic thing, sonic wave, whatever. It's really easy to dodge. Just makes it so your raid isn't grouped up. The next one is the Poison Mind, and this guy interacts with the Wind Reaver, who I just went over. Makes it so you have to have 2 tanks. That's all it is. But this guy's an asshole. We want to kill him ASAP as possible. To every player, he assigns a red, blue, or yellow toxin, and he'll do an ability later called Choose Catalyst, and he'll interact with certain toxins, and if you have blue, you will blow up, like if he picks blue and you have it. then you'll blow up for 800k. On 10 man, you can, like, the damage is split between a max of 2 players. So you have to have a buddy. If you have red and he picks red, then you blow up for 400k. That is not split. You just have to be spread for it. And if he picks yellow and you have yellow, then you will leave a void zone that just does damage. So the way I see it is blue and yellow need to pair up, and red need to make sure that they're not near anyone else. And that's it. That's all the guy does. The next is the Dissector. Now the Dissector and Bloodseeker have another tank mechanic where you can't be tanking both of them at the same time. The Dissector doesn't do anything other than exist so that the tank can't have both of them, and he picks a random player and injects them with a virus that just does 20k taking damage, and it stacks. When it hits 10 stacks, the person erupts and makes like a whole bunch of ads that you just have to kill. Awesome. The next is the Bloodseeker, who is his counterpart. And this guy just has, like, he has an arc. I'm not sure if it's a frontal arc or a side arc or whatever. Just swings his weapon and makes like 4 bloods spawn in the room, and you have to kill them before they reach a Paragon. Otherwise, the Paragon will heal. And then we have the Swarm Keeper, who will just picks a random player and damages them in the raid. So he's not a tanked mob, I don't think. And I don't know, he was the last one, so we didn't actually get to him. And then he'll pick a random player in the raid and stun them, like puts them in stasis and stuns them. And if you are within 45 yards, he will knock you back. And he will do a giant fire line between himself and the target of 1.5 million damage. That is split between everyone in the line. And when you get hit by the line, to split the damage, you will leave a void zone under you, so you just have to move afterwards. So that'll be cool. That's it. I don't know, this boss is pretty fun. It's a true council fight, so whenever one of them dies, the other ones heal. And yeah, it's a fixed order per week, and you do have to kill all 9 of them each week. But you know which 3 are gonna go on pull because they have like this red light above them. And it's again, you get an ability after you kill each of them, but I have no idea what any of those do because they were all bugged. Yay, PTR. Bye.